that money, dummy, do it for the love. And I'm hungry, did I mention money? Cop cars, now I need that airplane money. Hardly laugh in the ghetto, being broke ain't funny. We built for this homie, yeah, we run the streets. You see me everywhere, Jewed up, tucking the heat. Yo, I rap for the hustlers, put my life on this beat. We all we got.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Frank Warren calling out Eddie Hearn to make big fights for British boxing. So what we're going to do is we're going to share the screen, and this is Frank Warren making his pitch.
But now is the time for us to step up and do what's good for British boxing, not what's good for me or good for Eddie Hearn. People don't buy tickets to see him or see me. They buy tickets to see the best fight the best. And him and I have something in common for a change. We can deliver to the British public what they crave for, what they want to see. The best fight the best. There's been some stuff floating around the last few days. I've seen in newspapers about whose stable's the strongest. I don't like using the word stables, by the way, but you know, whose camp's the strongest, who's got the best fighters. And it's an easy way to find that out. And with that in mind, I spoke to BT a couple of days ago, and I said to him, would you have any problem if we could somehow get together, all get on the same page? I'm talking about Matchroom, Queensbury, BT and Sky, for the good of boxing and making these fights happen, for the good of the fans, because the fans are what want to see it. So we know what their fighters are, we know what theirs are. So this is what I would like to put to a proposal, very serious proposal for the good of boxing. Bearing in mind we're in this lockdown, fights that some could make it go on pay-per-view and so forth, but these are the fights I'd like to see. I'd like to see Anthony Yardy with Joshua Bratson. Everybody would like to see that. I'd like to see Daniel Dubois with Dillian White. And Dillian may say, oh, I've got to fight with Tyson Fury. But the public want to see Tyson Fury fight Joshua. That's what they want.
All right, just stopping the video. Here's a list. Fury, Joshua, Dubois, White, Joyce, Nora, Yardy versus Bratzi, Williams, Andre, Gorman, Allen, Jones, Ben, Shock versus Barrett, Metcalf versus Fowler, Edwards versus Yafari. So those are the fights that he's saying he would like to see cross promotion. Of course, you have BT and Queensbury Promotions on the left, and you have Sky Sports and Matchroom Boxing on the right. Now, here's Eddie Hearn's response to it.
Promotion fights. Oh. My negotiations on Fury against Joshua don't involve Frank Warren. They involve Bob Arum because Tyson Fury's given him the control. But I'm happy to talk to Warren anytime. You know, every now and again I look backwards and forwards with a couple of these boys in the office. You know, no problem. Honestly, it's fine. But I do think that fight could help us open the door to others as well. Listen, as long as my fighters are happy, as long as the money's secured, and as long as everything makes sense, I'm all for it. And I think a lot of those fights will need to move forward because this goes back to the argument of boxing needs to be in a good place. So we need to deliver good fights. And if we can't deliver those in stable and around, we should look at other promoters to work with to make cross-promotion fights.
All right. So that's Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. Frank Warren issuing basically a proposal to make the big fights in the UK for British boxing. And you heard Eddie Hearn's response to it. G, what are your thoughts on those exchanges?
Man, listen, first and foremost, salute to Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. Reason why I had to salute this is because if they could pull this off, they set the precedent for top rank in PBC. So now there'll be no more political talk. If they can make it work, we can make it work here in the States. So salute to those gentlemen, if in fact they're going to pull this off. Second, in the spirit of Ned the Cameraman, I will say this. This could be the British SmackDown. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to see this. I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I think Eddie's squad is going to be victorious. But nonetheless, I think that would be exciting. Salute to the UK. I think the people do want that. And then finally, I'll say this. Frank Warren to me reminds me of a politician, right? He knows what to say till you go like, you look like you're BSing, but you talking my language. So I'll give you the pass. I'll vote for Frank.
I told you, Warren is a smooth character, man.
I'm telling y'all, it's like, it ain't about me and my stable. It's about the boxing fans. And I'm like, I see what you're doing, player. I see what you're doing. So, yeah, man, like, this is going to be exciting. The only thing is, I kind of feel like, hold on, his lineups, there was 2 lineups. I'm like, all right, bro, you asking for your guys to get murdered. Dubois going to get murdered by Dillian White. Dillian White going to put a hurting.
I don't know.
A hurting. I will put money on that fight. I'm confident.
Hey, listen.
Dillian White will not disappoint me on this one. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to be poor Dillian. It's going to be poor Dubois. You know what I'm saying? So, now goes Dubois. That's what it's going to be. And then Chisora is going to murder Joe Joyce, too. I'm going to be 100. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard for Queensberry in my eyes. You know what I mean? For those fights.
Wait, hold on. Did I just hear you admit that Chisora is going to get a dub? Did I just hear that?
Listen, I'm not thrilled. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Joe Joyce is so slow that I think Chisora could get that W real quick. So, yeah, man, it's just yeah, I'm excited, man. I really do hope, and I know that Frank Warren is serious because Frank Warren paid a graphic designer to do the imagery where they had like the
Where is that stuff at?
So yeah, so that's how I know he ain't just talking to talk because he put money behind it. Because I know they paid that graphic designer something just to create those images, you know. And so yeah, I hope for the sake, forget you know, UK, for the sake of boxing, period, let this happen, man. Like, if I have to watch fights early in the morning or whatever, I don't know what the time difference is between us and the UK. I'm willing to do it if these are the real serious fights. Like,
they usually start at like 3, like the very first card.
That's perfect for me, man.
And then the main card will come on at like 6.
In honor of my UK brethren and sister, I'll be watching while eating fish and chips.
All right, Ned.
Like G said, this all sets the precedent for Boxing Mania. Let's go.
Yeah, the other one's Boxing Mania. This one has to be the British SmackDown.
Yeah, it's set. This is the build-up. They're gonna have their SmackDown.
PBC. You right, Ned. This Boxing Mania.
Yeah, PBC and ESPN, Fox, all of them got to come together and be Raw. US Raw, UK SmackDown. They build up Boxing Mania. It's gonna be amazing, man. Like, they should really sit down and talk about this. I think I have a Super Bowl. You know, make this the event of the year.
This is the first time, Ned, you the man. This is the first time.
Somebody got to get me in the room. With
the universe, I'm telling you, the universe is aligning with Ned right now. You know what I mean?
Nah, this would be dope, yo. This stable, even though Frank Warren's stable looks a little funny style against Eddie Hearn's stable, only really good matchup I see is Fury, Joshua, and Dubois White would be a really dope fight. And like G said, Chisora, who is he fighting? He's fighting Joyce. Yeah, that'll be entertaining as well. Besides Yard, I think Yard will watch Botsy, but after that, everything's a wash for the zone, for Eddie Hearns. But it'll be a dope. If they can make it happen, it'll be really entertaining.
I think, like, before you give Ned, Ned with Boxing Mania, I give Ned credit for Boxing Mania, but there was an episode, I don't know if you recall, on Boxing Bros, when I said when I was younger, we always wanted to see who would win. Some wrestlers versus WCW versus WWE. If they ever would have created that event, I always felt like it would have been the biggest event ever. I don't know if you recall me saying that, but I said that.
I just remember that.
Yeah.
How much would you pay for it, though?
But my point still stands because I remember there was a time when Goldberg was the man in WCW, and I think it was Stone Cold and like The Rock. They were the men in WWF, and it was always like, oh, I want to see Goldberg fight these dudes. And if they ever could have made that happen, I just always felt like that would have been bigger than like WrestleMania. There was just that event that they created.
The Attitude Era actually did that. Like, what was it? At mid-2000s?
They did the same exact thing on that prior episode.
But it was like a buyout. It was like WWE had bought out WCW, but they made it seem like it was pretty entertaining.
Was it called the Attitude Era?
Yeah.
He said the same exact thing on the episode where I brought this up. Well, the reason why I'm bringing this up now is because I've been saying this for the longest time, and so I'm happy that like Frank Warren is finally on board with it, because you don't just make this a one-time thing. You make this a yearly thing where Frank Warren and his stable, he doesn't like using the word stable, but Frank Warren and his team of fighters fight Eddie Hearn and his team of fighters, right? So every year, Boxamania, whatever you want to call it, every year there's that event.
Right, British SmackDown. And we going to do USA Raw. We going to do USA Raw. You know
exactly. So every year, Frank Warren and his guys will fight, Eddie Hearn and his guys. And the British public will love it. People will be debated who's going to win. And of course, whoever has the most victorious fighters on their team, that team wins for that year. And I've been saying this about American boxing. This is a way to make the cross fights happen, because what people are really afraid of is, say your guy loses the belt to someone like, Frank Warren's fighter loses the belt to Eddie Hearn's fighter. Now he's never going to have a shot at getting that belt back from Eddie Hearn and his team. But if you do it like this, where you make these cross fights every year, and every year the title has to be on the line, you would have a shot at getting the belt back. Then it would be in your best interest to put your best guy out there against his best guy to get the title back. And that will be another way of making boxing intriguing, because now the stables are all relevant. Well, the teams, they're all relevant, like Team Hearn, Team, Warren, Team Arum, Team Heyman, these guys like PBC, all that. And then it's all like, will they get the belts back? It'll be like what I always wanted to see. Goldberg fighting Stone Cold, Goldberg fighting The Rock, right? It would be you seeing and getting the belts back. And it would give purpose to this big time event that Ned has dubbed Boxamania. And I'll give him credit for the name Boxamania, but the idea is actually one I brought up a long time ago on Boxing Bros.
Yeah, but Ned marketed it. Credit, Ned.
Listen,
Boxamania. You know what I'm saying?
It's the story of my life, when people say something or do something I said after I've already said it, and then just act like I never said it.
Next level. To the next level. Let's go, cameraman.
Well, I will say, Ned, Boxamania. I agree with you. Boxamania.
Yeah, so
I would never call it Boxamania.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. When you first said that, I was laughing at you, but now I'm laughing with you. You know what I'm saying? So good job, man. Good job, man. And Frank Warren low key co-signed what you're saying.
Frank Warren is looking for Boxamania. Give the people Boxamania. But all right, so before we end this segment, he did bring up how he wants Daniel Dubois versus Dillian White. And I know, G, you've already stated how you feel about it. But do you think that fight should happen? And his reason behind it was the public wants to see Joshua versus Fury. So why not just give the public Joshua versus Fury, and then later on you can give Dillian White his shot. So so G, what was your thoughts on that?
Yo, my bad. What was the question again?
Oh, well, basically,
my son came downstairs. I'm like, what's he doing?
No, basically how Frank Warren was saying the public wants to see Joshua versus Fury, and they don't want to see Fury versus Dillian White. So why not let Joshua and Fury fight each other, and then Dillian White fight Daniel Dubois, instead of, forcing the mandatory for the sake of the fans? What was your thoughts on his argument?
I mean, if I was Dillian, I'm not taking that fight. But if the money's right, why not? You know what I mean? Or if let's say this, if they could guarantee if Dillian beats Dubois, he has the title shot no matter what. Whoever wins all the belts, then yeah, why not take it? To be honest with you, it's a one-sided fight. Like I'm that confident that Dillian going to spank that boy. It's gonna be bad. So I'm for it, you know.
You
But
saying Dillian's just picking up some extra chips along the way. That's
exactly. Yo, it's just free money. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at it as free money, free promotion, and you just KO a prospect and just devastate so many people. You know, especially Frank Warren. Like I don't even know why Frank Warren would even want that matchup. Crazy.
He wants to turn Dubois into a star.
He wants to turn Dubois into an ex-boxer. That's what he wants to do.
He wants to turn Dubois into Seth Mitchell. That's what he wants to do.
Coming from experience, I know. I see where, listen, when you see a guy, you're like, yo, he got it. And you're like, but deep down inside, you know he don't got it. He missing a lot. But you're like, yo, we could build him up. But they fast forward his career, and then he meets a guy like it was like Chris Areola for Seth. Dubois about to meet a guy called Dillian White. Career done. You know what I mean? So don't do that to that young man, yo. Just Frank, I understand you trying to create this Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter thing, but don't do it to yourself, man. It's gonna end badly for that poor kid's career. But yeah, I like the idea though. If Dillian's cool with it, I'm cool with it.
All right, Ned.
Yeah, hold up. I'm pulling a G right now.
Oh God! You know what, man?
I gotta pull the Ned. You can't pull a G.
Listen. For starters, G went out for a second, so I can understand him needing me to, restate what I said. But you were here for both explanations, which means you got already. So that means you want to hear it 3 times. All right, man.
They need a 3-peat.
I had to mute Ned on this one. All right,
hey, Ned, okay. This Ned came up with Boxomania. You get a pass.
Ever since you came up with Boxing Mania, you just don't hear anything anymore. You think you did something. You think you accomplished something. Oh my God! I'm just gonna go. Me. Oh, it won't let me unmute Ned. Yo, I can't unmute Ned. Wow.
Oh, no. You mute it for a second.
We here.
All right. So, for me, right, the Boxomania idea is cool, but one thing it does show me is that Eddie Hearn's in the position of power right now. Eddie Hearn has the stable with the names. So, like, for example, if I were to just pull this up, this one. Fury's a big name, but Joshua's a big name. And, you can debate who you think's bigger, but Joshua is the one who does better pay-per-view buys in the UK. Dubois, White's clearly bigger. Joyce Chizora's clearly bigger. Yard and this guy right here, Yard's probably bigger, although I know this guy here is very popular in the UK. A lot of people have been telling me to check out his fights. Andrade, I know Andrade Williams. I mean, you could probably put that as a wash.
Williams will be bigger in the UK because
Williams is definitely bigger in the UK. But what I'm saying is Andrade is in the US is bigger. So that's what I'm saying. You can probably put that as a wash. Like these guys are from different places. Like one's from the UK, one's from the US. So it is what it is in the UK. Williams is definitely going to be bigger, but UK fans are such big boxing stars. They're going to know who Andrade is, a lot of them. But when you just look at the top 4 names in star power, it's definitely with
Eddie
Hearn boxing and Eddie Hearn. In the other position of power that Eddie Hearn is in is he's going to get 2 bites at the apple. He's going to get 2 shots at Tyson Fury. He's going to get Dillian White, and then he's going to get Anthony Joshua. So why would he put or risk his 2 bites at the apple by making Dillian White fight Daniel Dubois? It's just not going to happen. His goal is to have the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and I believe Eddie Hearn would love for that person to be Anthony Joshua. But if it can't be Anthony Joshua, he'd rather it be Dillian White. So there's no way he's going to give up his 2 shots at the apple, especially
unless he could guarantee that Dillian faces the winner no matter what. If they could put that in the contract, then.
Well, I know how you're looking at it is like Daniel Dubois stands no shot, but I think he does. I mean, I'm not saying I'd pick him to win. I think Dillian White would beat him, but Daniel Dubois is not a walk in the park, bro. And if Daniel Dubois beats
that Dillian will definitely capitalize off of. So,
well, okay. Yeah, and it always seems that way until it doesn't go that way.
I mean, it's the heavyweight division, one punch.
Hakeem Rahman had a lot of flaws that Lennox Lewis could capitalize off of, but he landed that one punch.
Yeah, that one punch. Yeah,
and then the second fight, Lennox Lewis capitalized off of those flaws, but still, and Daniel Dubois is that kind of guy where all he needs is one punch. So it's a risky fight. So why risk it? You already have 2 bites at the apple. So just take your 2. He's going to take his 2 shots. So that's why when you listen to Eddie Hearn, he says, I think we can make some of those fights happen. He's saying some of those fights because it'll be foolish for him to not allow Dillian White to get his shot at Fury. Fury beats Dillian White. Great. Now Joshua gets his shot at Fury. So Fury basically has to beat 2 guys in Matchroom stable to become undisputed. And Eddie Hearn just needs one of his guys to beat Fury, one of his 2 guys to beat Fury to get the WBC. So he got 2 shots, Fury. So that's why he's not going to do it.
So pretty much what y'all telling me is Eddie Hearn is Vince McMahon? You know what I mean? So Matchroom.
It'll make boxing happen though. You just gotta adjust those fights a little bit. Instead of
I'm telling you, I'm excited. Hopefully everybody listening is also excited. Please let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and listen. If you're into podcasts, don't forget to check us out on all major podcast platforms. It's the Boxing Bros.
I wanna see what's on your mind. You wanna see what's on my mind. Pimpin' all the time. I wanna know if you wanna be mine. You wanna know if you can be mine. Pimpin' all the time. I wanna see what's on your mind. You wanna see what's on my mind. Pimpin' all the time. I wanna know if you wanna be mine. You wanna know